Rook, you know, when Rook was much more powerful than he is now.
Yep.
He was the #1 Rook on ladder in the world.
He was
so this man can play Rook.
He can play Rook the good.
Yeah, I like this side team. I think that it's going to be a tough battle against YOUNGSUNG. Again, you mentioned their draft ability is insane. Obviously, we might see them ban out that comfortability that ArcDN has, and then there's a little bit of flexibility in the support role here for Psy. And I'm curious to see how this ban and pick phase goes for them.
Now that I think about it, I think I've had a conversation with Arcton. I think he wants to be called Arcadian.
Arcadian.
Yeah, Arcadian, yeah.
Right.
I think that's how you pronounce it. So if I ever call him Arcton again, just yell at me. Arcadian.
Yeah.
We got to do the boy justice. It's his name.
I'm sure Twitch chat was
It's like,
already kind of flaming us for it, so it's okay.
I try to think of a way to say your name wrong to like be like it would be like this, but I can't think of any.
Yeah. Well, it's
Jerby?
okay.
I'll call you Jerby.
Jerby.
Ashka
and Jumong, the first bans coming out. Ashka on the side of Psy and Jumong on the side of YOUNGSUNG.
Yep. I was wondering how Jeter would approach this. He doesn't even want to bother with the Rook. He thinks it's in a manageable state. However, the Jumong, an incredibly strong character, Psy, playing with Unimportance, one of the best Jumongs in our region, it makes sense that Jeter would want to ban out that Jumong.
Yeah, and you might even see him play into a Thorn with the Jumong banned out here, but we do see Iva and Rygon coming in. Rygon does get through. We have seen Rygon dominate the arena in BPL this season, and Jade on the other side coming in.
The Jade is a very interesting character. I think she is pretty good, but she's seen next to no play, so she's kind of back in unexplored territory. She saw a little bit of play in Europe last week, but before that she saw almost 0 play in Season 1, just like literally 0 play. So she's really good against the Rygon simply because of the Blast Bolt stun Battlerite that makes it so anytime Rygon tries to go on her, she's just like peace. She jumps out, she stuns him, and she gives the Rygon a very hard time. But I'm not sure how strong she is. We'll see what kind of setup YOUNGSUNG picks for her, because I think Jade needs some setup. The Shifu, okay. This makes a lot of sense. The Jade-Shifu combination is one that we've seen way back before BPL. Just when we had weekly tournaments through community tournaments like Rivals. The Shifu goes in, creates a ton of pressure with that in-cap. The in-cap then sets up Jade to hit some snipes, and Jade's Battlerite build right now is all about the snipes. She has a Battlerite that increases the stun duration on the snipe, so you end up stunning a character for like 1.25 seconds.
I was gonna say it's like over a second.
It's dumb. Yeah. It's so dumb. Yeah. Like if you land a snipe, you can just eat a character alive. So the Shifu in the in-cap and the pressure that Shifu applies is very good. Also, I like the Shifu with the Older, because Older lacks healing innately as a character, but Shifu has that EX space, so he'll get in there, he'll heal up, and it will kind of make up for the lack of healing that Older brings to the table. So I'm sitting here just like going off on this YOUNGSUNG comp and about its different synergies and why I like it, but Psy on the other side, the Iva is very, very good at applying pressure to the Jade. Of course, the Taser Cleanse can just remove the stealth if you ever hit him, and Snipe has a long cast time. Snipe has a very long cast time that you can just ruin with a Taser.
And that's what I was going to say, is that even though they have those Jade snipes, you talked about the snipe being what they build their Battlerite builds around, Iva is right there to kind of lock Jade out of that. Yeah. And I think that's a kind of, we'll see who can get the upper hand on each other, but I think this is pretty even in terms of the pick across, because just in terms of counterplay, everyone has an equal opportunity to counterplay with each other.
We'll see. Chalt actually playing. It's not going to be ninjas on YOUNGSUNG this week. We'll see how Chalt looks. Chalt's Jeter's old teammate from way back in the day coming back. A great start here for the blue team. That Rygon Heavenly Strike dealing a lot of damage.
And then now taking a lot of damage himself, trying to get away from it. Shifu, or excuse me, not Shifu, Rygon. He took a good bit of damage and didn't end up doing anything off the parry. Couldn't get in. Blocked out. First orb goes to YOUNGSUNG.
Yeah, a beautiful snipe from Chalt. Both gets the orb and hits a member of Psy. A great start, but the Shifu of Red, Rare Peep, getting pretty low here. And the Rygon, it's looking very similar. Neither of the melees too healthy, but this is a big punish opportunity onto the Shifu.
Yeah, Shifu took a ton of damage. Getting out of it. Rygon gonna try to go in. Doesn't have anything. Jade keeping him out. Gonna rush in, take some damage.
Nice bubble. Very good bubble from Dexarian to ensure that. Oh wow, Psy. They didn't even manage to take that orb, but the EX M2 from Jade was reflected. That M2 not going to be reflected. It is going to land on Dexarian, and a big stun onto Chalt. Chalt taking so much damage. He has to use the Older ultimate very defensively, and YOUNGSUNG has to play very passively here. Psy, they have a 20% HP lead. This is looking very good for the blue team, and they get the orb.
Well played by Rygon. That Older into Rygon earlier was so scary. Gets the E on him. Gonna try to punish Shifu here. Can he get the kill? He's gonna push up Rygon. Doing a lot of damage here. Getting a lot of pressure. Jade trying to get it right back. Oldor getting a good stun, but no one's able to follow up.
Jade snipe. not going to be fully cast, canceled out. Chalt trying to bait out some abilities, but Sai are just going to take another orb, and this HP advantage is now up to 30%, Jorby. This is not a good look, and Rare Peep is trying to equal out the playing field a little bit, but he's having no success. The in-cap, they need to find this kill. They need to find this kill very bad.
Nope, it's gone.
The parry was there. They no longer have that opportunity, but they actually get it with the quicksand. Jeter from downtown. We're now in a 2v2, and YOUNGSUNG, they're still behind, but it's doable.
That was such a big play by Jeter. You had to get that trade. It looked like it was lost, and then he got him. Right now, full energy on the side of YOUNGSUNG. They could definitely pull this through.
Yeah, Rare Peep getting that last orb was very important. The counter not hit, and this is a big, big, scary situation for Rare Peep. Gonna just get mowed down right after that EX space. Not looking so good for YOUNGSUNG, and Sai starting this one off incredibly strong.
Oldor gonna try to get something going, but Sai, like you said, looked very good there. Put a lot of pressure onto it's the Rygon show, man. He was able to push up, cause a lot of pressure. That parry is just, it's so versatile in what it can do in blocking out any kind of damage, and then you get the quick stun off of it, which just interrupts everything.
Yeah, and Chalt just had such a hard time. We see that he did end up taking the extra snipe damage, but he didn't take the snipe stun duration. He's playing much more of an M1 focus, Jade, and even still, he's having a very hard time. Jade as a character is very countered out by Older, just simply because the bubble is there. It can both ruin the EX M2 and the M2 and just your M1s. There's literally nothing you can do through that bubble. So it's giving Chalt a very hard time, and he's been unable to get these huge chunks of damage and have the high impact you want your Jade to be able to. A good draft from Sai actually helping him out in this one.
Yeah, absolutely. Going and getting a lot of damage on Jade early. Pulling out.
Nice.
I'm going to call him Arc. That's what I'm going to call him. I'm going to call him Arc.
I'm calling him Arcadian.
Arcadian.
Arcadian. I think that sounds cool, too.
It does sound cool. Arcadian does sound cool. He's getting a lot of damage in, too.
Yeah, Jeter's pumping in heal charges to Rare Peep, but now Arcadian's getting a little bit low. A beautiful Blast Vault ruins the parry, and now the Rygon has to play very passively here. Rare Peep knows it, and he wants in. He's trying to find the damage out. Beautiful in-cap. The snipe going to come out, but the parry is there to reflect it. However, YOUNGSUNG, they're still in an advantageous situation.
Yeah, taking a lot of damage right there on the Iva. Unimportant was trying to go in. He can't do it. Oh, my goodness.
A little bit of a silly play there from Rare Peep. He lands the older stun and then immediately posts up in a counter. A little bit interesting choice there. And Sai, they end up taking that orb.
Sai trying to find a way in. Got plenty of energy. Rygon coming in. Arcadian just pushing it out.
Chalt missing a couple of key abilities there, not hitting his Blast Vault or his E. His disabling shot, a little bit unfortunate. Has to play safely as a result.
They have this orb, though.
Yeah, they do get the orb because of a nice junk shot. Really nicely played from Chalt. There we go. That's the Blast Vault he needed. Yeah, they needed that Petrify. The ultimate is going to come out from Dexarian to try to keep Arcadian alive, and he does, but still the damage is there, and YOUNGSUNG has complete mid-control, Jorby.
Every time he wants to go in, Rygon either gets rooted, gets stunned out. They have locked him down really well, and also Unimportant has kind of been blocked out. Every time he goes in, Jade just locks him down as well. Oldor coming with the big stun, but not able to follow up on it. It's starting to turn around on them. The health advantage is gone. And YOUNGSUNG, a huge snipe that's big. Rygon able to get out of it, but he just can't get in.
Yeah, so much damage onto both of the melee characters there. They're both very low. Rare Peep up top with no energy. The ultimate is going to come out onto Arcadian, and they get the kill on Jeter, bumping him out into sudden death. Beautiful play from Sai. The orb, it goes to YOUNGSUNG, but it's too little. Oh, it's not too little too late.
No.
Arcton, he actually falls. They could do this, but with no healer, this is very hard. They need this kill on an Unimportant. The counter, it's procced. A beautiful play from Rare Peep holding that counter. This snipe's not going to hit, but the M1, they need it. The footsies from Unimportant are incredible, and he ends up living. Unimportant. Sick movement going to keep him alive in the end of this one.
That's Juke City for Unimportant, pulling that through for Sai. Wow.
Juke City, population Unimportant.
That was... It's unimportant to know the population.
I'm glad you picked that up too.
No, that was great. Wow, Sai turned that around. That was YOUNGSUNG's games to lose.
Yeah,
straight up. And then Unimportant just made them all look silly at the very end. Avoided every lick of damage. That tractor beam was brilliant.
Yeah,
brilliant.
Very nice tractor beam in the space after dodging that snipe. Very good. That early kill onto Jeter. It looked like the red team might have been able to come back after they got the kill on Arcadian, but simply weren't able to.
Now YOUNGSUNG trying to fight back. Trying to go in on Rygon. Gonna have to wait.
Nice snipe.
Rare Peep trying to go in, gets a couple of ticks of damage here, going all in right now and Unimportant. And he gets zapped away, but he's not gonna let up.
Oh, he tries to cancel the snipe, but Chalt uses M1s immediately after and still ends up hitting that taser. Check out that energy bar. Unimportance sitting on a full bar of energy, but he ends up taking a lot of damage still from both the Shifu and the Jade.
He does get out of it and is able to put on some damage to Oldor. That's the third time I've seen Unimportant pop an ult and do nothing with it.
Yeah, the Iva ultimate, a very niche ability. Yeah. Chalt, his blast vault forced out by the quicksand. Really nice job by Dexarian, and now the ultimate coming out. It lands onto Rare Peep. He gets dragon pumped against the wall, but Jeter has his own ultimate. Rare Peep going to find no value out of it. He spears back in. He uses that EX base to heal up in a 4-stack M2. So much damage coming into Sai on the left-hand side, but on the right-hand side, even more as Rare Peep goes down. Will he fall? He has that EX base. He manages to barely make it out alive, and he wants this orb. He recognizes how bad he needs it, but he doesn't get it. Sai going to take that third orb of this round, and YOUNGSUNG now, look how choked out they are, Jorby. They're outside of the map. They can't find their way back in because of Rare Peep's HP pool, and Sai is just playing with YOUNGSUNG.
Rare Peep had the right idea, just didn't have the range, didn't have the ability. His area of influence was way far behind. He was getting pressured back, wasn't able to confirm the orb, and they're going to lose, well, maybe not lose this one, and they get it. YOUNGSUNG gets this orb. That's huge for them to try to make a push back into this, but they're all caught into this corner. Not a lot of health, and just going right in. Wow. Rare Peep gets the double in cap. Huge damage.
Beautiful double in cap into the Petrify, into the double snipe, and now the ultimate is coming out from Chalt, but the huge tractor beam summon into the older stun.
Wow.
Chalt gets blown up. Look, they get the kill. They get the kill on Dexarian, and Arcadian might be the next to fall. There's no healer on the side of Sai, and now YOUNGSUNG have found themselves in a strong situation. This orb, though, it's ever important, and the Shifu falls to the Heavenly Strike. That hitbox bigger than the remainder of this size in this arena, as Arcadian both steals the orb and finds the kill on Rare Peep. Beautiful play, but he does still go down. And now Unimportant versus Jeter in this 1v1. This is so close. The flamethrower, the
gets it through him. Can he get it? No, he goes down. The huge zap. Iva takes it, Unimportant, clutching for Sai.
I thought that taser steal was it. I thought Jeter had it, but he ended up still falling, and Unimportant, even in such a bad situation, kept his head cool and found the kill on Jeter. Jeter, the man that managed to 1v1 a verse at LAN on a Pestilence versus Jumong. He doesn't manage to take it against Unimportant here, and Sai, in a round they shouldn't have won. They should not have won that round, but they managed to find 3 kills, and they take the round. Sai up 3-0.
It flipped twice, and I got to tell you, YOUNGSUNG, they got to find a way to finish against this Sai team because they are looking so strong. And early, they know it. They know it. They're going all in right now up at the top, but it could be dangerous. A lot of big damage coming out on Unimportant.
That's what they needed. They needed this start. Unimportant, he used his space bar in a little bit of a risky manner.
Get it out.
Yeah, he got punished for it pretty hard. Rare Peep, he's chasing. He's going to get the orb. YOUNGSUNG, they're at a 20% HP advantage.
Oh, and pushing him back out. There's no room for Unimportant. He does get out of it. And Oldor trying to ult right onto Jade. They're going to go right in.
Oh, that huge damage. Triple blast vault stun, slowing down all of them. Sai getting a lot of damage. Jade, she eats that taser, so she doesn't get the ult off, or the snipe off. Chalt, he's trying to find the damage. Wow, all of those M1s being reflected by the parry, and Rare Peep is now criminally low.
We're at the same spot we were. YOUNGSUNG's in control. They have 2 orbs. They have to be able to finish. Sai can absolutely turn this around. And going in, they're going to try to right here, pushing up.
Nice stolen rocket from Jeter, returning some of that damage. The parry not going to be broken. Chalt needs to be better about that. Chalt needs to hit the blast vault stuns on these parries. Arcadian is just reading Chalt's mind perfectly and kiting away from that blast vault each time. And this is huge because Chalt, he takes so much damage for these situations now. He gets the blast vault stun, but still the pressure is being put on. The Dragon Palm is going to dodge the snipe, and the zap is there to help out Arcadian.
Yeah, I was going to say huge zap.
Yeah, very big zap. Unimportant. He gets that ultimate and he ends up eating it. Unimportant gets ulted by Jeter and they find the kill. The orb is also taken by YOUNGSUNG 4-0. That's a full bar of energy the YOUNGSUNG have had to work with this round over Sai.
Much better play for YOUNGSUNG. Didn't crack under the pressure, especially when it could have been really bad after Arcadian had the ability to just go right back in. He was hitting every parry. The blast vaults weren't coming in. As soon as he finally hit a blast vault, that's when they were finally able to push Rygon out and win his game.
Yeah, man, Chalt's having such a hard time. I thought after maybe the last patch that Jade might be viable, so she wasn't played at all Season 1.
Yeah.
She got a couple buffs to her M1 range, very minor things, but it does add up. But she's still looking so underwhelming. There are just so many things in this round that Chalt has to play around, and it's forcing him to play so defensively that he can't ever really take the momentum.
Yeah.
This Jade pick is looking very hard to work with.
It's so hard and just getting picked apart. So YOUNGSUNG still trying to fight back. Some early damage coming around. Tried to tractor beam him in, but getting away from it now. Oh. Shifu trying to go in.
Yeah, Rare Peep gets chunked hard for that too, but YOUNGSUNG do get the orb, and that helps Rare Peep recoup some of that lost HP, and he lands a fatty M2 onto Arcadian.
Oh, he's in trouble.
Oh, Rare Peep, he's getting in there. He's trying to aggress. He's doing the Shifu. He EX spaces. The damage is here. That 3-stack M2 is going to land, and the Older of Dexarian is so low in the bottom right. Iva trying to make some space with that machine gun, but it's not going to be nearly enough, and YOUNGSUNG, they're looking like a different team, Jorby.
They are, and they're getting turned around here right now. Oldor coming in, trying to get big damage. That's a good stun, but they weren't able to capitalize on the damage. There's Sands, more Sands, doing tons of damage.
Iva, she has to space away. She's got no tractor beam. Arcadian comes in with that nice Dragon Palm to make some space, but still, Sai have to play so clumped. They've managed to claw their way back in. A sick double encap in the double Older stun. My God, YOUNGSUNG. My God.
YOUNGSUNG coming back big time right now. Gonna take out Unimportant. Gonna knock down Arcadian, and they are fighting back into this series. That's how you come back. Big combo.
It's so crazy. It's so crazy how fast things happen in this game. Rare Peep finds an in cap, and immediately after it, the snap of a finger, Jeter's like mashing his F button. Jeter's like, give me that ult. I want to ult. I want to ult. And Jeter lands that Older ultimate on 2, finds the stun, and the burst on those 2 with the help of Quicksand is unreal. And the amount of damage that came out in that like 2-second window was enough to bring the round heavily in the favor of YOUNGSUNG, and they take it. And now YOUNGSUNG, they have all the momentum. They lost the first 3 rounds pretty like dominantly and convincingly, but these last 2 have looked very good, and YOUNGSUNG's back on the map.
Oh, and they're going to try to force the aggression here. Arcadian wants to go in. Rare Peep. You see him going in, trying to get the counter. Actually, the counter's gone now. That's big trouble. He's going to take a lot of damage here, trying to get out of it, but he's still taking more. Finally, Eldora able to get him at least a little healed up, but he's got to get out yet again, going back around. Sai able to get a lot of early damage off, but not before they get traded on damage a little bit as well.
I like what Chalt did there. He got the blast ball stun on Arcton and also helped his team secure the orb, and now the energy is going to start adding up. It's so important for YOUNGSUNG to have that ultimate. The snipe coming out here, big damage on Unimportant. That's what you want this comp to do. That you want the Shifu to find the in cap and enable Chalt to get that stun, and you see the damage potential with it. Unimportant already so low, and a second orb taken by YOUNGSUNG. This round is already looking very good for the red team.
YOUNGSUNG has completely turned this around, getting a stun. Arcadian trying to get out. It's not going to happen. He gets pulled in by Shifu again. Huge damage from Eldora, and he goes down.
That Jade ultimate coming in for that final shot. Beautiful play from Chalt and getting that kill and putting them up 2-3 in terms of characters. And this is looking very good for the boys in red. And YOUNGSUNG, they are steamrolling now.
Sai cannot control the middle of the map at all. They haven't been able. That is 6 straight orbs go into YOUNGSUNG in the last 2 games.
You know what I imagine Sai's comms sound like right now?
Silence. Well, we were doing pretty good.
They're all sighing, dude. That's the joke I was going for.
Oh.
Come on, Jorby. Work with me, Jorby. Come on, dude.
I'm so sorry.
Dude, I'm trying.
I'm super serious mode, and you're throwing a joke at me after a really hype match.
I'm just here to have fun. I'm just here to have fun. Battlerite's a fun thing.
I love it. Battlerite's fun.
3-3 is the round score at Jorby. Things looking pretty good for YOUNGSUNG as they're back on a roll. Rare Peep, he's going right in.
Oh, Arcadian gets annihilated again. Rare Peep has kind of been doing what really Sai needs Arcadian to do. A big in cap coming around. Unimportant going to take a lot of damage, but he gets stunned out. Still, the flamethrower coming out, doing some damage, but Unimportant is getting annihilated.
Yeah, Chalt got that orb with a snipe and hit Unimportant. Unimportant's got no energy, no tractor beam. He has to space away, and he gets these green shards, but no, Older's not even letting him. They're posturing, so the Unimportant can't go in safely, and he's still getting punished so hard. Unimportant had nowhere to go. Beautiful play from YOUNGSUNG. That positioning was impeccable.
And now stunned out, caught in the corner. He's not going to be able to get out of this. Big damage. Rygon goes down. Sai cannot find their footing in this game against YOUNGSUNG. They win 4 straight.
Yo, YOUNGSUNG, what happened? They must have like flipped the switch. I don't know what happened, but they are firing on all cylinders, looking so strong. Chalt is landing these key abilities. There are still some times where he seems to be locked out, but these snipes he's landing now, these orbs he's helping his team secure are so big, and he's finally found how he needs to play in this round, even if it's a very hard matchup for him to be in.
And for those orb secures again, that's 7 straight.
That's a lot.
In the last 3 games.
That's many orbs.
They got to find a way to get energy on the table. Sai, they're not able to do anything.
Oh, that's
Unimportance getting bullied. A huge snipe again.
Yeah.
She's been. You asked, all right, is Jade viable? I think as soon as you said that, they started coming back.
Yeah.
So I think he heard you.
It sounds like it, but still. Oh, this is a very questionable play from Chalt. He blast vaults back into the fight after eating a double Dragon Palm. He hit that snipe. That snipe is good, but Chalt is now just getting so bullied. A huge misusage of abilities from Chalt going to cost him this round, and we're going to round 9.
Those misuse of abilities, and then Rygon just stun after stun, and then Uldor came and stunned. Rare Peep couldn't do anything. He got taken out of the game immediately. A good double incap and a Petrify, but it's not going to matter. They can't do anything about it, can't follow up, don't have any kind of utility to work with here. They are going to do a lot of damage, but there's just no health on the side of Rare Peep here.
Watching Chalt is very interesting. The dude is inarguably mechanical skilled, but sometimes it seems like he just lacks the discipline. Like right there, when he got double Dragon Palm down into the bottom right corner, I could feel the panic.
Yeah.
Chalt, somewhere on the East Coast, his panic was radiating to me over in Los Angeles, and he just mashed the spacebar. He was like, oh no, Rygon. And he blast vaulted himself right next to Rygon and went right back into the center with no ability to get out. He only had the EXQ, which is only going to do so much. So what I'm trying to get at is Chalt, if he doesn't panic, if he tries to like play more calm and be more cognizant of the way he's using his abilities, I feel like he could be incredible. But there are a couple key things, small mistakes that he keeps making that cost him these rounds.
And this was huge for Sai to stop the bleeding. YOUNGSUNG had won 4 straight rounds, and to come back here now to put a game-deciding game 9, they have to find a way to pull it through here. Good way to stop the bleeding, but he's taking a lot of damage. He can't get away from it. Uldor's gonna get deleted from the game unless he gets out. He does, but man, that's a lot of health.
Yeah, and if you're a YOUNGSUNG fan, that's exactly how you want to see this round go. A huge punish onto Dexarian's Ulder early on is going to give YOUNGSUNG all the momentum, and they nicely navigate back towards mid. They need the orb, and they do get it. Another orb secure for YOUNGSUNG as they get the bottom green shard too, and a double in-cap into the double. Ulder ultimate and the snipe. YOUNGSUNG finishing it off in style.
We saw YOUNGSUNG do that earlier in the game. It was just a little more hectic last time. They were just chilled up there. He's like, oh, hey, ult me real quick.
Yeah, give me the ult.
Give me the ult, cheater.
Give me the ult.
Give it to me.
Yep.
So YOUNGSUNG fighting back from a 0-3 lead from Sai to win the game, and they stay undefeated in BPL.
Yeah, a very good game from YOUNGSUNG, and that's the second time we've seen YOUNGSUNG have these very close matches. I can't help but feel like, you know, they get a little bit too close and a little bit like, it takes them a little bit too long to figure out how they need to play in these games, and that's a huge concern for them moving forward, because if you're in the playoffs and you're playing against a, like say a Space Station Gaming, you won't get any time to adjust. You have to go in and know how to play properly. You don't get these 3 rounds that you get early on against a team like Sai, who I don't mean to discredit because they're incredibly good, but it's like it gives YOUNGSUNG a little bit of time to like recoup and figure out what they need to do. SSG is just going to like keep improving and keep understanding what they need to do. They're going to mold with you as you try to like mold to them.
Exactly.
So you got to be like, this is a huge concern for YOUNGSUNG going on. They really need to iron out some of these pain points.